what we're going to talk about tonight is, this is like wintertime jigging, and I've been fishing this lake not as long as some of you have, 20 years. Todd Keith, Shad Taxi, went out with him one time in the winter, doing some jigging, and I learned a lot from him. Learned a lot from that guy sitting back there in the back, Lacey. Learned a lot from Gary. A lot of people have gone into this. I've gone out on my own. I've failed a lot on my own. I've succeeded a lot on my own. But there, in my opinion, I don't think that there's any direct science about jigging. You just have to go out and you have to do it. And there are going to be a few things that are going to happen regardless. You're going to get skunked. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay? You're going to get skunked jigging because it's a touch and a feel to it. And I'm not talking about like if you're bass fishing and you throw a Cinco under a dock. It's not like that kind of finesse bite. Okay? When that striper hits it, he hits it. But you got to know what you're feeling. Okay? You're going to lose jigs. That's why that man stays in business back there, right? Because you lose jigs. If you're going to buy jigs from Lacey tonight, don't buy two thinking you're going to go out tomorrow and have a good fishing trip, because that's going to last you about 10 minutes. Buy 2 dozen and just know that you're going to lose jigs, and you're going to have to be okay with it. If you're cheap, like me, that's something you got to get over. You just do, okay? But I'm going to show you the way to save some money, because you don't need $180 fishing rods. You don't need $200 reels. You don't need all this expensive, the high-end fluorocarbon and the high-end braid. You don't need all that stuff. I can show you how to save some money so you can put that money in that man's pocket, okay? So this is just kind of the cover page here of what we're looking at. And you can see, like, this is bait deep. Look at that. I mean, that bait's 70, 75 feet deep. And those are fish on top of that bait, okay? And this is the down scan showing you what it verifies, what you're seeing here. There's the bait, and there are the fish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, 7. You know, there are 7 or 8 fish there. I'm fishing that, okay? I'm fishing that, all right? The first thing I want to go over is kind of what my setup is. And if I go out by myself, I'll take 2 jigging rods. I'll take another rod, like shamelessly plugging this guy tonight. It's Swamp Monkey. I'll take a rod to throw a Swamp Monkey just in case. And then I'll take another rod with me to throw a swim bait. To me, if I get into an active feeding situation up in the water column, if I see them on my screen 10 feet and below, I'm throwing the Swamp Monkey because it can get down. If I see them more up toward the 10 feet toward the surface, I can throw that Swamp Monkey, but I really prefer the swim bait because I feel like I can burn that thing, okay? So I'll take 4 rods with me if I go out by myself. 2 jigging rods because I take a backup. If you've ever tried to tie braid and fluorocarbon together when your hands are cold, it does not work. It doesn't. So take 2 rods with you that are set up ready to fish. God help you if you lose both of them. You got to tie them while you're on the boat. It's cold. All right. So if I am, I'll call it hunting. All right. If I'm hunting for fish, if I see, if I don't get into where if there's just a massive school of fish, but if I'm hunting fish, I'll go through an area and I'm looking for bait. All right, and I'm hunting. This is the setup that I'm going to use right here. This is a little smaller rod. It's a 6'6" rod. It's Travis Patel height, Cats and Stripers height. And it's not, I know a lot of you may say, well, what's the difference between a 6'6" and a 7 and a 7'2"? You sit here and do this for 30 minutes and you'll feel the difference. So if I'm hunting fish, I'm going to use, it's a 6'6", medium heavy. It's rated for 10 to 20 pound line, and it's got some butt to it. It's got some backbone to it, okay? This is a Oh, hold on, we go back to the rod. This is a $22 Walmart special, brothers and sisters. Let me tell you. You don't need anything fancy. There's if I got some really dumb buddies that don't know how to fish, I put this rod in their hand. This is an old Berkeley cherry wood rod. And I can't tell you how many of my buddies have put it in the rod holder, hit it with their hip, and it goes over in the water. I bet I've got 3 or 4 of these in the lake. So if I have, everybody know the term, in fishing term, googan. Everybody know what a googan is? Somebody that doesn't really know what they're doing. If I have a googan on my boat, this is what they're getting in there. You use this rod.
It's still using that rod.
Yeah. If Joel gets,
It's not Magoogan.
no, if Joel gets on my boat, he gets even a step below this. I need running in. So. But again, this is the next step up. This is a 7-foot, medium heavy. I don't even know if it's rated for 10 to 20 pound line. It's a 1/4 ounce to 1 ounce jig or lure weight. So again, this Berkeley cherry wood rod might cost you $29. It's got the old cork handle. I hate those. They're slick. I prefer the new. I call them the wind grips. I don't know exactly what they're called, but you know what I mean. They got a little sticky, a little tacky to them. Okay. So this is the same rod as this rod, except it's the 7-foot version instead of the 6'6". 7-foot, medium heavy. And if I lose this, again, it's a $22 rod. The reel may be $30-something. I'm more mad if the rod goes over. I've lost more in braid, I think, than I've lost in the rod and reel. All right. So this is a 7-foot. This is a 7'2". This is a little bit better rod. It's still not a high dollar rod. It's a Lew's carbon fire. You can buy it at Dick's. At least you could. Dick's Sporting Goods. I bet I've got 4 or 5 of these rods. These things have performed well on bass, stripers, bass, both largemouth and smallmouth. This is a 7'2", medium heavy, same rating, 10 to 20 pound line. Actually, this says 12 to 50 pound line, and 1/4 to 1 ounce. All right. So what do you need? You need a 7-foot medium heavy rod with a bait caster on. Because you're not, even if you can't throw a bait caster, all you're doing here is you're dropping it straight down. All right. So let's talk about the reel a little bit. The 2 white rods are a brand called Cast King. They are very affordable reels. These Cast King bait casters, I think those are the Calamus. They are a 7.2 to 1 gear ratio, which means you can burn that thing up. If it's 60 feet down and you need to move or something, you can get that bait up quickly at a 7.2 to 1 gear ratio. This is, and it's got 17.6 pounds of drag. So if you need to punch a striper in the jaw, which you need to, jigging over trees, you don't want to lose line to that fish. When you come tight on that fish, you want that fish coming to you. You don't want him going the other way because you're going to lose him in the trees. Okay? This is maybe a step up. It's called the Cast King Royal Legend 2. Same price point, $35. Okay? So, I mean, you can do the math. I've got less than $60 in those 2 combos over there, maybe $65 in this combo. And I haven't encountered a fish yet on Smith Mountain that I have to say, holy crap, I wish I had spent more money. Anybody got any questions about the setup? It's very basic. You can jig with a spinning rod if you want to. I don't, because I don't think, I'm going to tell you, hold on one second. I don't think the line comes off a spinning rod consistently like this does. Lacey, if you drop yours, what are you getting? You're getting 3 feet per second on a 3/4 ounce jig, about right?
On 3/4.
Yep, a 3/4 ounce jig head. If you, this little, I'm not going to call it the right thing, but the brake on it. If you let that break go, now look, you don't want to backlash while you're going down. I get that. But you need to have that break so that it's a nice steady drop and you can get 3 feet per second. And it's pretty daggone accurate. 10 seconds is 30 feet. 15 seconds is 45. Now, when you start getting, I have found, when you start getting deeper than 45 feet, your drop starts to slow just a little bit. I don't know why that is. I don't know if the water's dense.
More line drag,
whatever. Yes. So, up to about 45 feet, 50 feet for me is about 17 seconds. Okay, so you can do the math on that. That's about.
And you can also see the jig on your
You can. Yes.
flash.
Yes. Mike, sorry about that.
Just was going to say, something I've learned is the guides. Don't use micro guides, because if you're fishing in cold weather, they freeze up.
They freeze up fast.
Super fast. So I know a lot of bass rods, they have the micro guides, but for striper fishing, I don't like those.
I can tell you this. I'm a fair enough weather fisherman. I know I'm probably not going to be fishing. My eyes are going to freeze up. I've done that once and it was miserable. It was awful. So I'm not going to do that a lot. But I guess you're exactly right. Let's see. So anybody have any questions on like the setup?
What line are you fishing?
I'm getting ready to go on that. You ready for that? All right. So everybody knows when you spool a bait caster, if you're going to put braid on it, you got to put backing on it, right? Everybody knows that. So I find like a cheap mono. I'll put, 18, 20 turns of the rod handle just to get enough mono on that rod. Then I tie a very small double uni knot, and that's when that's where I start the braid, okay? This is the brand of braid that I use. I don't even know how you say it. Piscafun, I don't know. It's an Amazon brand, I don't know. All right, so this is 20, I use 20 or 30 pound braid. This is a 547 yard spool of braid. This is it's either $15.99 or $19.99. Okay? If you're going to buy 500 yards of Power Pro, you're probably looking at $40, maybe more, I don't know. I haven't had a problem with this. So, I like 20 or 30 pound, whatever I have. 50, I've used 50. 50 slows my drop down a lot. And I'm not sure 15 would be enough. Probably would be, but I just have the 20. Does anybody know how to say this? It looks like Piscafun to me, but it's probably not even. I thought it was Pacifica or something, but it's not.
You're in the ballpark.
And this is on Amazon, just like the cascade. I told y'all I was cheap. I told you. I warned you. All right, so then I've got my braid coming all the way, filling my spool up, okay? Then what I do is I get me about a 6 to 8 foot leader of fluorocarbon. I was visiting Bass Pro a couple years ago, and this has always been my brand right here, Seaguar. Seaguar Red. This is, I think, for about 150 or 200 yard spool. This is going to be about $15 for 200 yards. I do not use the leader material. I don't know why they think leader material is needed. It's 25 yards, and it's the same as 200 yards. To me, somebody may know different, but to me it's the same line. I've never noticed any difference in it. Well, 2 or 3 years ago, Seaguar came out with this. It's called the Seaguar Basics. And I've put this on a lot of my bait casters for bass fishing. This is 10 pound, 200 yards. This is 200 yards. I want to say this is like $9.99 a spool. This, like I said, this is $14 or $15. I haven't noticed any difference. If y'all are bass fishermen and you notice a difference on your floor, I haven't. But I was in Bass Pro one day, Knoxville or wherever that is, Pigeon Forge, and I had a bunch of these in my hand. Fell at Bass Pro who was stocking the shelves. He said, Seaguar makes this for us.